since Smallville has recently hit the trending pages of TikTok, I thought it would be nice to rank the character designs of the DC heroes and villains from the show. But this show started in the early 2000s, it was a CW TV show, so the budget wasn't exactly there for comic accurate costumes. Because 90% of these characters, they did not get a costume, it was just clothes. So I was thinking, what kind of standard do I apply to these costumes? Because I can't just apply an MCU standard to these or anything. So I think a fair way to go about this is to compare these designs to the entirety of the Arrowverse character designs, just all in my head. Because I did watch those shows growing up, so I think that's reasonable. Right? First, we have to start off with Clark Kent. I only included 2 looks from him, one with the jacket and one with the trench coat. Let's start off with the jacket look. By the way, I watched this show close to 10 years ago, so I don't remember a lot of the plot details. And also, I have to kind of speed run through these because there are 40 we have to get through. And I'm not fucking making a 40-minute video for Smallville. So this is just a red jacket with the Superman logo. I don't know what else to say. It's a pretty sick leather jacket, I guess. I don't remember the context behind this look, but this is literally what people would parody the CW as, you know, like just a person with a leather jacket with the same color scheme. Again, we are keeping the standards a bit light here today. I'm gonna put this at a C, because it's literally what you would expect from the CW. And also, that fucking, it's not an embroidery, what's it called? The embossing of the S logo, that looks pretty cool, right? I don't know, maybe I'm being too easy on it. Alright, the next Clark Kent look, we have the trench coat look, aka the Blur. So this was when he was a vigilante of some sorts, and I think I read somewhere or watched a clip of Tom Welling said that he hated this plot line. I don't really remember much. I remember kind of liking this look, because it's the closest we were gonna get to a cape without having a cape, because that's what they did in the 2000s. I don't remember how the painted S came about on this shirt. How did that come about? I don't know. And this is also very reminiscent of, you know, the black suit, Superman's classic black suit. Listen, man, I didn't mind this. I didn't care if Tom Welling hated this. I'm gonna put this at a B. Because it's also kind of iconic. It's the Blur from Smallville, you know? I think it only lasted like 1 season though. Next, we got Lex Luthor. I wasn't gonna include him in this video, but I decided why the fuck not, because people would complain. Michael Rosenbaum did a great job as Lex Luthor, but speaking of the look, he doesn't get any sort of armor or anything, so nothing to really identify him as Lex Luthor apart from a bald head and a suit. So I don't really, you know, I don't really know what more you can do. Lex Luthor might go in an A. Pretty easy A. Like the Emma Stone movie. Okay, let's get some guest characters out of the way first. Okay, so first we have the Wonder Twins. Obviously, I paired them together because I wasn't gonna fucking look at both of their costumes individually. And I totally forgot that they appeared in the show until I had to, you know, gather this list. Listen, they look like sort of siblings. They don't have the Wonder Twins costumes. I know people hate on this era of, you know, not giving superheroes their actual costumes and just making them more realistic, but you know, as I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate it. When I was younger, I really liked it. Then I got a bit older, then I was like, oh, fuck this. I prefer real costumes. But now, I kind of appreciate it. You know, they had a small budget. What can you do? Nonetheless, the Wonder Twins are going into a D. How could you be able to tell that they're the Wonder Twins? I mean, I'm pretty sure they have the powers in the show, which is something, I guess. All right, next we have Maxima. Maxima, who will also be appearing in Man of Tomorrow, apparently. So, if I remember correctly in the show, Maxima was horny for Clark Kent, as she always is, especially in the comics. She looks kinda like her design in the comics, I guess. I'll put Maxima at a C. Okay, next we have Mera, aka Aquaman's girl. Listen, I know a Mera costume would have been insane to do on the Smallville budget, but this is literally just a woman. What about this screams Mera? Imagine showing this photo to someone who has never seen Smallville, or even if they had seen Smallville like when it was airing, who this was meant to be as a DC character. How many fucking names do you think they would have to guess through to get to Mera? I mean, I guess it's the hair, but come on. Mera is going in a D. All right, next let's do Plastique. So in case this actress looks familiar, she is the same actress who plays Nora Allen in the CW Flash show. And in case you didn't know, the actress is like 3 years older than Grant Gustin, which is fucking crazy. So she played Plastique in Smallville. What do I say? Okay, I'm gonna put Plastique in a high D. right? Listen, at least she has some sort of effort put in to make it look sort of like comic book plastic. Actually, let me look at what plastic looks like in the comics. Yeah, actually, let's put that in the middle of D. Plastic, yeah, nothing like the comics. My fault. All right, what other one-off heroes do we have? We have Blue Beetle. Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of surprised that he actually got a costume for this show. I mean, it obviously doesn't look great. I remember him being like a big, hunky dude, which isn't what Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle's meant to be. He's meant to be super agile and shit. This looks like Black Beetle from Young Justice. A very bulky costume. Very ambitious of the show to try this out. But in terms of Smallville standards, you know, I respect it. I respect that they went for it. It's gotta be at least a B, right? B for Blue Beetle. He even has the glowing eyes, but this literally looks like a high budget cosplay. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Yeah, you know what? I know I'm gonna get hate for this, but I'm putting this Blue Beetle high B. Next we have Booster Gold. Now, I know a lot of people are gonna hate this as well because it literally looks like, you know, one of those black leather X-Men costumes except blue and yellow. However, what I really like about this is that he has the fucking brand sponsors on him, which is so, you know, Booster Gold-esque. People are gonna make fun of this, like, oh, like it looks so cheap, it's just fucking, you know, leather and whatever that plasticky shit is. I think they did a solid job with this costume. I'm putting Booster Gold at high A. You know what, maybe even low S. No, we'll put a high A, high A. High A for now, I might change it. All right, the next one-off-ish hero we have is Speedy, aka Mia Dearden, I think that's her name. She appears in a Green Arrow-centric episode. She does not get a costume, but I feel like I had to include her here because I did include characters who don't get a costume anyway. Also, not the same hair color as the comics. I don't know if that matters. This is literally just a lady. Even more so than Mira, she's getting bottom of D. So next, let's do Deathstroke, aka Slade Wilson. Bro, who is that? Listen, I respect the fact that they gave him the eye thing and for some reason he has a sword. This actually fucking corrupted me when I watched the show for the first time. Because I was a big Deathstroke fan when I was, you know, a kid slash teenager. And seeing this on screen as Deathstroke, I was like, what the fuck? And I'd watched the show after I saw Arrow season 1 and 2 and whatever. So to see this Deathstroke, the regression was insane. Oh my god, I can't even stomach this. I feel sick. I feel sick looking at this. Okay, so his bald, okay, not exactly bald, but he has like that, what's it called when you have hair on the back and the sides? No costume. He has like a military outfit or whatever. I don't even remember his role in this show. Was he like some sort of like politician or something? Well, he was like politician-esque. He hated superheroes or something. I don't know. This is abysmal. We are just purely looking at the design, and this design is absolute horse shit. I don't care what anyone thinks. This is dog shit, cunt. This Deathstroke is an E because it's worse than having no costume at all. Couldn't have cast someone 20 years younger? Honestly, I think that would have helped a lot. But you're telling me this Deathstroke is gonna face the Teen Titans in, I don't know, 10 years or so in this main DC continuity? What the fuck? He's gonna fucking snap his back up.
Let's just say the Reaper can swing his sickle at me, but I'm beyond Deathstroke now.
Alright, next villain we're gonna look at is Mr. Mxyzptlk. Again, yeah, he was just a guy. A hot guy, can I add. Do we ever see his true form in this show? I don't remember. I know I made the hypothetical scenario with Mera about how long it will take to guess who this character is. This would take 100 times longer. Showing this image to someone being like, guess which DC character this is? They would be stuck there for eternity. They'll probably starve to death before they guess Mr. Mxyzptlk. Yeah, this is bottom of D. And I know Supergirl, the TV show, did the same thing, but at least he had like magic and shit and he could like change up his costume and stuff. Like, what the This guy was like fucking up the high school football field or something, if I remember correctly. I don't know. Okay, next we have Roulette. Not a bad costume, to be honest. It's kind of similar to a comic look. It's definitely better than just not having any sort of effort put into a costume at all. Because if you look at her comic design, from what I remember, it's pretty like... It's not bad. In fact, I'll probably put this like top of C. I think that's fair. Top of C. Roulette, you're going top of C. Next, we're doing Toyman. Honestly, they did a pretty good job. This obviously isn't that Super Friends look or the animated series look, but the typical Toyman look in the Superman comics and whatever the fuck, this looks pretty good. I can't lie. They chose their battle for this one wisely because I think it was very achievable, that Toyman look, and I think they fucking nailed it. And with the casting as well, if that matters. He even has a faint pinstripe on his coat. I don't know. I really like this design. Toyman might go into an A. Not as good as Booster Gold. I really like that Booster Gold look. Yeah, I think that's good. Next, let's tackle Metallo, one of my favorite Superman or just DC villains in general. I do not remember his role in the show at all, but holy shit, did the makeup team go fucking insane. Or VFX team or whatever. Dude, I remember seeing this as a kid before I watched the show and I was like, yo, that looks fucking sick. Look at how all these pipes are just burrowed into his chest and you have like those fucking stitch marks going up his abdomen. That looks so fucked, but in the good way. And he also has a bunch of metal shit on his left arm. Dude, he could have just had like that heart thing and I would have been super impressed. Obviously they couldn't go with the whole robot look, but that's fine, okay? I'm not one of those people who are like, no, it has to be fucking perfect or I'm gonna shit my pants. Dude, this was a TV show and this looks fucking insane. Maybe it's because I just really like Metallo. If I remember correctly, he didn't really stay for that long on the show anyway. I think it was like 1 or 2 episodes. Kind of a waste if you ask me, but then again, maybe it costs too much money to apply everything. I don't know. Does this deserve an S? I just keep looking at how fucking intricate everything looks. My god. Okay, maybe if it was an S, he would have like a bit more metal, you know, a bit more robot showing. But again, it was a fucking TV show. Is this an A or an S? You know what, I'm gonna put this at a high A. I low-key convinced myself Metallo should have like more robot showing in his face. But it's a fucking excellent design. I might move it into S. Nah, okay, we'll keep him there for now. Okay, next, let's tackle Deadshot. Deadshot. I know people clown the Arrow version of Deadshot, but come on. What is this? This is fucking Jonah Hex. He doesn't even have any red or silver. I mean, listen, I get that this is an adaptation. I respect that, but this was clearly adapted by someone who just didn't care about the character. They were like, oh, he's a sharpshooter. Give him a cowboy aesthetic, which is cool. Okay, it could be cool, but as someone who liked Deadshot a lot, this is not cool. I didn't think he even had the wrist gun thingies. What are they called? I don't know. Okay, maybe if he had a bit more red and he had like some sort of scope on his eye, this wouldn't have looked too bad. Deadshot might go bottom D or top of E. You know what? I'm gonna put him bottom D. Oh wait, no, sorry. He does have that little eye scope thing. That boosts him up a lot of points. I'm gonna put him top of D. Damn, top of E to top of D. You saved yourself, Deadshot. All right, let's do some assorted characters. We have Rick Flag. I don't know if his name was actually Rick Flag in the show, but it was pretty much meant to be Rick Flag if he wasn't called Rick Flag. Anyway, this is exactly what I would expect from the CW. I'm gonna put this Rick Flag at middle C. Okay, next let's tackle the Legion of Superheroes. Only 3 of them appeared in the show. Just jackets. Just jackets. You're telling me that these guys are from centuries in the future? Sick, dude. So we have Lightning Lad, we have, what's her fucking name? Saturn Girl? And we have, Cosmic Boy. Cosmic Boy. More like Cosmic Middle-Aged Man. Yeah, listen, I can't lie. This is pretty bad. The others, I can have some sort of leeway with it because, you know, they're all living in the 2000s or whatever. But you're telling me that these people are from the fucking future? Unless I forgot some detail in the plot where they had to teleport back in time and use 2000s clothes. But they have like the Lightning Lad has a lightning symbol and shit, and Cosmic Boy has the circled things. Dude, I'm not taking that. I'm not accepting that. Ugh, good lord. Do I appreciate the effort they put into like adding the little lightning bolts. We'll put them bottom C for now. Yeah, bottom C. Let's do the villains. I reckon just munch through the villains and we can wrap it up with the heroes. Okay, let's talk about Icicle. He's the villain of the JSA, as he usually is, and he appears in the JSA big, not a crossover, but the big Smallville event with the Justice Society. Hey, I respect that they fucking painted him up, you know? That hairstyle though. Sheesh. Very 2000s boy band. Kind of respect though, low key. Definitely not as good of a look as he appears in Stargirl. This, good lord. I don't remember him looking that bad in the show. I'm sure if you binge watch the show, you just get used to how characters look. I don't know what it is. There's something charming about this. The fact that this actor had to sit through all that makeup and all that hair paint and get his hair fucking like a fucking shark fin. Is he gonna get some sort of skin disease from that silver paint? Probably. Icicle is going in a high C, because again, they could have just made him like regular fucking flesh tone and just make him go all blue or whatever when he's using his powers, but no, they fucking committed to the whole look. So alright, next villain we have is Bizarro. A very untraditional looking Bizarro. But can I just admit something? Can I confess to my heinous crimes of the past? I thought this look was really sick when I was a kid. Like, I thought it was really creepy, and I was like, damn, is this what Bizarro's meant to look like? That is scary. And it kind of just shifts around all these little cracks and platforms on his face. I was like, whoa. It's obviously not the Bizarro we're, you know, typically used to seeing. Superman and Lois did Bizarro much better than this. But at the same time, this must have looked insane back then. You know, the CGI on a TV show, that's quite ambitious. It's giving robotic lady from Superman 3, you know? Like, I'm sure this scared a lot of kids back then. But maybe not, because Tom Welling's attractiveness kind of cancels out scary. Like, can he be scary while also being hot? I don't know what I'm talking about here. I'm gonna put this Bizarro at a low B. You know why? Because they could have just went, hey, it's just another Clark Kent, his Bizarro. But they actually did add in some white and some fucked upness to show that it is Bizarro. So maybe I'm being too lenient on some of these. All right, next villain we're gonna tackle is Darkseid. We don't really get a good look at him in the show. We do get glimpses of him, but he's usually covered in smoke. So I don't really know what I'm judging here, to be honest. It's very Rise of the Silver Surfer Galactus-esque, you know? But at least it shows Darkseid somewhat, like his figure and everything, and his face as well in that one shot. Completely CGI. Hey, listen, from what we can see, he looks pretty darn accurate. When AI video generation gets to a certain point, I know some people are gonna fucking redo these Smallville episodes with comic accurate looks, and listen, I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying I'm gonna be very curious when that happens. I'm gonna put this Darkseid at a middle B, between Trenchcoat Superman or Trenchcoat Clark Kent and Blue Beetle. I know some people might hate that because, oh, he'll just smoke or whatever. From what we can see, they tried to do the comic accurate look, but clearly they didn't have the money. So next villain we have is Deadshot. Now, if you don't know who Deadshot is, he is a disciple of Darkseid, the scientist guy. He looked very different in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and he looks very different in any other media adaptation of him in whatever DC property. But in this show, he was some sort of club owner or something. Don't fucking ask me why. He kind of looks like Edward Norton in this photo for some reason. I mean, they could have at least made him some sort of fucked up looking scientist dude, not this charming, attractive fellow. You know what? I don't usually do this. Maybe I should add an F row, because this is low-key an E, but I feel like Deathstroke is worse than this. So I'm gonna put Deadshot at a low D. Next we have G. Gordon Godfrey. Again, what am I supposed to judge here? So this guy, if you don't remember, he's in Young Justice as well. I think that's where most people would know him from. He is the newscaster who kind of works for Darkseid low-key. I don't know, he doesn't even have the long blonde hair or anything. I don't know where, fucking hell. I'm gonna put this guy at a D. Literally anywhere in D. At least we got his age right. I'm gonna put him behind Deadshot. Next villain we have is Brainiac. Now, if you haven't seen the show, you might be very fucking confused because this does not look like Brainiac. It just looks like a man with a very chiseled jawline in a leather jacket. Well, that's because that is exactly what Brainiac is in this show. Played by James... I was gonna say Marsden, but that's not right. James Masters. Very similar name. Yeah, so I remember Brainiac being a pretty good villain, to be honest. I don't really remember what his whole plot was. Dude, I mean, James Gunn for Man of Tomorrow, the Brainiac design, the bar's on the ground here, okay? I mean, the Krypton design was pretty good. Supergirl, Supergirl's Brainiacs didn't look that great, but this is just a regular guy. But it doesn't look horrendous, I guess. I guess it kind of works because like he's just an AI system, I think, in this show. Either way, I think this Brainiac, again, it's gonna go in D. Somewhere in D. You know what? I'm gonna move Deadshot up into a low C, because I feel like he just doesn't belong with everyone else. Everyone else is just fucking regular clothes. Brainiac, I'm gonna put second to last in D. Next villain we have is Zod. Now, I put in his final look in the final season, not his earlier appearance, and not when he mind controlled Lex Luthor or whatever. This is his final appearance, and I believe it's his most comic accurate appearance as well. Not too shabby. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. I mean, we didn't really get a good look at it, but this is a pretty good looking Zod. Whoa, that came out. I said what I said. I'm gonna put him at low B. I think people would be satisfied if this was a Zod look for a Superman TV show. He's also grown his facial hair for this appearance as well, so I think that helps. Let's just do Granny Goodness first before we get on to the Big Mama. Granny Goodness, if you don't already know, she is also a disciple of Darkseid. She trains the fucking, what are they called? The fucking deadly warriors who serve under Darkseid, the four ladies or some shit. I remember her portrayal being pretty good. Her look though, yeah, just an old lady. Listen, at least Granny Goodness in the show can look like a granny. Deathstroke, he does not look like a fucking mad alien scientist or anything. I'm gonna put Granny Goodness at a D behind what's his face, G. Gordon Godfrey. Jesus Christ, it's just a battle of the mids we got here. Okay, the final villain we are tackling is Doomsday. I know a lot of people hate this look. I don't know if it matters, but he only appears for like 5 minutes after a season's worth of build-up of him as a villain, so that was kind of disappointing. But can I just say, for a TV show in the 2000s, this is fucking hectic. That's just my opinion. Okay, I know a lot of people are gonna disagree with me on that, but I think this looks sick. I thought it looked sick as a kid, and then when I actually watched the show, I was like, he looks pretty sick. I mean, the amount of effort that would have been put into this costume, my fucking god. Do I know why they decided to put Doomsday in a Superman prequel show? No, but they do end the fight with Doomsday buried in the ground, so that does kind of lead into Death of Superman, which would occur in this continuity years down the line, because it does start off with Doomsday buried in the ground. Anyways, do I think Doomsday should be wearing cargo pants? I guess it kind of works in the context of the story, because he is just a guy who gets transformed into Doomsday or something. I don't know. Sam Witwer, aka Darth Maul, if you don't know, he plays Doomsday guy. Not this Doomsday, I assume this is a much bigger guy. I mean, look at the textures. Like, look at this fucking shards coming out of his shoulder, and you see the little pockets of flesh that surround it. I think that looks pretty cool. And it's very comic accurate as well. It doesn't have the hair or anything. Am I being biased in some way? I honestly don't know. I don't remember what the internet thinks of this look. It looks more comic accurate than the fucking Batman v Superman version, I think. This is gonna stir some butts into the ground. I'm putting Doomsday at an A. He just looks fucking incredible. Okay, maybe incredible is a bit far, but for a TV show like Smallville, that's gonna upset some people, I know. All right, let's wrap this up. So we should go through the Justice Society members that we have. We have Wesley Dodds Sandman. I think this was only like a very brief flashback, so I assume they only made the mask for him. He looks pretty good from what we can see. Yeah, I mean, what is there to say? High B, above Blue Beetle maybe? Because we don't really see much of anything. Next, let's do Dr. Fate. Sheesh. Dr. Fate looks fucking sick in this show. I know it's leather or whatever. I don't get why people bitch so much about leather. Dude, who fucking cares? It looks awesome. They got the color scheme right. Like, they full committed to the superhero look with the cape and the gloves and the belt and that helmet. And I know for a fact that some people prefer this design over the Black Adam design. I think the Black Adam design looks cooler, but this one definitely is not bad at all. The zipper is a bit distracting, I will say, but I still think it looks pretty fucking fire. I mean, that comic accurate helmet does a lot of the lifting, but you know, they got the color scheme right, and it looks, I don't know. I feel like I've said the word sick too many times, but this Dr. Fate looks pretty sick. New top of A. Metallo looks pretty cool, but Dr. Fate, he looks fucking nasty. Alright, next Justice Society member we should cover is Stargirl. Okay, somehow we've had 3 TV iterations of Stargirl and none of them have missed. This Stargirl literally looks like comic book Stargirl from the 2000s. I don't know what more else you could want. I think it's a bit too, like, just looks like a t-shirt, you know, like, cause textures matter a lot, but then again, maybe people like that because it's not just leather. Also, I'm not that big of a fan of the mask shape. It's a bit too big. There's too much space covering her forehead. Maybe that's how it's meant to look. Yeah, I don't know. Something about it looks off to me. It's an A for sure. I don't really know where. I'm gonna put it behind Booster Gold, but after, no way. Between Booster Gold and Toyman. And the final Justice Society member we are going to cover today is Hawkman. Now, Hawkman. Oh, he looks very good, very sick, and I know a lot of people prefer this design over the Black Adam look as well. I mean, you're comparing a TV budget to a movie budget, a movie that came out like 10 years later. You know what? I think this Hawkman might look better than the Arrowverse Hawkman that they had in the crossover, who eventually went on to Legend of Tomorrow for one season. It has that little rustic charm to it. Although, his belt looks very low. Like, there is no crotch. And I appreciate the practical feathers as well. It's got the mace and everything. Hawkman's going to an A. Hold on, I think I fucked up the order of how much I like these costumes in A. I like Doomsday more than Toyman, I'm switching that around. I like Doomsday more than Stargirl, I'm switching that around. Okay, I'm keeping that there. I'm gonna put Hawkman in front of Booster Gold, but not in front of Metallo. I still like the makeup effects that he did on Metallo though. Alright, let's just crush through these. The remaining heroes we have a mix of Superman characters and the Justice League. Here we have Cyborg. Oh my god. Okay, first of all, RIP to the actor. I know he did pass away pretty early on in his life, which is quite unfortunate. But going back to this costume, I know they did have like an X-ray scene of him and it was like the comic accurate Cyborg, but dude, just give him regular clothes. What is this? Actually, the color aesthetic is very similar to the 2003 Teen Titans show Cyborg. Yeah, I don't even know if this looks 2000s. This looks 90s-ish. And like the neon silver leather and just the plain black pants as well. What are we doing here? That's what I mean. Like sometimes like maybe regular clothes would have just been better than this. This is rough. I can't even look at this for too long. I cannot. Like, you know how Doom Patrol did Cyborg? I mean, that fucking headpiece wasn't great. But this is rough. I can't even think of any suggestions to improve this, like, realistically within their budget, because Cyborg is a pretty tough character to do. Yeah, Cyborg, I'm sorry, man. You're going to an E. Above Deathstroke, though, because that disrespect to Deathstroke was insane. Okay, next we have Zatanna. This is an S. This has to be an S, right? This is literally comic book look from head to toe. I know she appeared in the later season, and I know for a fact that if she appeared during like the high school era of Smallville, she would have been just some goth girl who can do like magic tricks or some shit. So I'm glad they kind of saved her, because this look is banger, and I really don't know how you can outdo this even with the movie budget. Okay, maybe the hat looks a bit funky, but this looks so sick. This is a perfect translation of comic book to TV show. And I'm not saying comic book accuracy is everything, okay? I'm just saying this looks really cool and it's comic accurate. Zatanna is our first S tier and potentially only S tier in this character design ranking. Next, we have Black Canary. Yeah, I remember thinking the insertion of this character was really odd because Green Arrow had a romance with someone else. She's got the fishnets. Is that what it's called? The fishnet stockings. Leather jacket. I don't know what's going on with the hair. I don't know why they gave her short hair. I don't know what it is with the grease paint on her eyes as a mask. Like, just give her a mask or don't. All the choices that went on from the neck above, I'm just like, what was going on in that meeting room? Like, what were we talking about? And I'm not saying Black Canary needs to have long hair, but if you're gonna give Black Canary short hair, at least give her a more stylish hairstyle, you know? There are plenty of women's haircuts that are short hair that look better than this. I mean, I'm glad they improved it in the Arrow show with every version of Black Canary in that show, but we're talking about Smallville here, and this Smallville Black Canary is going into a low B. Next, we have Supergirl. There were a couple versions of her look in the show, but I just chose this one because it's, the color scheme was somewhat accurate, I guess. Nothing much to say. She just looks like a girl. I don't think she ever gets the cape or costume or anything. So just going off this, she is going into A, C. Good lord, just looking at the Legion of Superheroes costumes. Fucking hell. They are grotesque. Next we have Martian Manhunter. He does have a human looking form in the show, but this is a brief moment that exposed his true alien form when hit by Dr. Fate with some sort of spell. I don't really remember much, but I remember Martian Manhunter and Clark were teaming up to find out what was going on with the Justice Society and stuff. So this is the one photo we have of the strange CGI head and this CGI Mars in the background. I appreciate that they gave a glimpse into what Martian Manhunter looks like. I know that it would be really tough to CGI him his whole appearance, like they found out in Supergirl, the TV show, but at least that Supergirl Martian Manhunter looked pretty cool. This one, oh god, looks like a generic alien acid that was just brought into After Effects and just placed on his head. This Martian Manhunter is going into top of D. Next we have Superboy, aka Connor Kent. I believe his name was Connor Kent in the show. It's kind of wild that they had Superboy before Superman was even Superman. And a lot of things in the show did not make sense if you consider that Superman wasn't Superman yet. I don't know what else to say. This is a fucking comic accurate look. You got the black t-shirt with the S logo. You got blue pants. In this photo, he has a flannel on. It might be an A, you know, because it's a very simple costume to do, I guess. So they didn't really have, I mean, if they had trouble with this, I would have been like, guys, what are we doing here? Superboy is going into an A. Bottom of A. Just above Lex Luthor. Alright, next we have the Batman of the Smallville show, which is Green Arrow. Now, apparently they wanted Batman in the show, but they weren't allowed, so they brought in Green Arrow, and if you have seen the show, it is blatantly obvious that they wanted that Batman-Superman relationship in the show. And they got it, I guess, through Justin Hartley as Oliver Queen. Listen, as a kid, I like this costume, okay? I thought it was pretty cool. He had them 6 sunnies, he got the blonde hair, he's got the bicep veins showing 24/7. I'm not really sure where this design pattern on his vest came from. Is that from the comics? I don't think so. This is definitely one of the more intricate costumes that we have, like one of the more, I don't want to say busy, but definitely a lot more effort was put into this costume because I think they knew that he would be a recurring character, and I think they hedged their bets correctly. It sometimes looks a bit too flimsy, especially the hood. And I don't think that outline helps that runs down the zip and the hood. It just makes it look a bit cheap. But I don't know. I always thought this Green Arrow looked pretty cool, but it's not very comic accurate, is it? Okay, it doesn't have to be comic accurate to be good, but I'm just saying, I'm looking for merits to give to this design. Okay, maybe my biases is about to show, because I'm gonna put him at an A. I think people are gonna hate that, but I don't care. I'm putting him bottom of A, in front of Lex Luthor. Actually, no, fuck it. I'm putting him in front of Superboy, because I respect the F. Actually, I'm gonna put him in front of fucking Stargirl and Toyman. What are you gonna do about it? Next, we have our second final character. We have Aquaman, aka Reacher, aka Hawk. This is when he gets his costume look, because when he first appears it's just a guy, a very chiseled guy with abs who can swim really fast. But in the Justice League team up episode, he does get his own comic book-ish costume. I think that texture kind of complements the fact that he swims a lot, because, you know, to wear a leather costume while swimming, that would look a bit weird. I think this is a pretty decent job of doing a half-ass Aquaman costume, and I don't mean that in a bad way, because like obviously you can't do the scales and everything, you know, but this isn't bad. Like, it's what I would expect from the CW. He also has a knife strapped to him. Cool, I guess. Not much to say. Does he have a hood as well? That would be so weird. Listen, this might be top of C. Aquaman might be top of C. We love the comic book look, but it's not really breaching into, hey now, this looks pretty good. You know what? I'm gonna shuffle Bizarro down to bottom of B, and I'm gonna shuffle Trenchcoat Clark just in front of Bizarro. I think this is the most moving I've ever done in one of these videos. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna move Aquaman to B, behind Black Canary. So he jumped up like 3 spots. All right, final character we have is Impulse, aka Bart Allen, but some people call him the Flash in the show because that's basically what he is. Like, how do you have Bart Allen without Barry Allen or Wally West or whatever? And yes, I do know there were cameos or Easter eggs when he was going through the fucking ID cards, okay? So this character was pretty enjoyable in the show, but this costume, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Okay, again, I think this is pretty serviceable for just, you know, civilian clothing. That's just meant to hint at this character's legacy and what is actually meant to be, you know? Because it's not meant to be a costume. It's just meant to be ordinary clothes. And I feel like this doesn't really stand out too much, except it does look like what an 8-year-old boy would wear if it were to be regular clothes. It does have a bit of subtlety compared to someone like, I don't know, Cyborg. It's not even comic accurate to Impulse. It's just meant to be the Flash, but I'm assuming for whatever reason they couldn't use Barry Allen or Wally West. I think Jay Garrick also appears in the show very briefly. Maybe I should have included him. Whatever. I'm gonna put him just behind Rick Flag, I think. Should I move leather jacket Clark? It's literally just Clark with a yellow jacket, but it does have something special. You know what? We'll leave it as it is. We'll leave it as it is. All right. There you go. The character designs of DC heroes and villains that appeared in the TV show Smallville, all splayed out right here. I do have a nostalgia for it, you know? I'm glad that people today get to watch this for the first time since it's trending on Netflix or internationally or HBO Max or whatever the fuck it's on. God damn it, they should sponsor me. Anyways, last time I did a character design ranking for DC, it was for Absolute Batman. And if you know anything about Absolute Batman, there are a bunch of unique designs. So if you haven't seen that, check that out if you haven't already. And I'll see you next week. See you.
10-1-5 in the open night. I can't help that I feel so lonely. How many times do I have